The resolution of the House followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by the member representing Esosa Federal Constituency, Edo State, Esosa Yahweh, during plenary on the need to address issues arising from Farouk's utterances about the nation's local refineries. The lawmaker reminded his colleagues that claims of adulterated fuel in the Nigerian market must be thoroughly investigated, stating that fuel quality can impact engine hardware. The federal government has offered 150,000 naira grants to outstanding micro, small and medium enterprises in Jigawa State. Vice President Kashim Shettima announced the offer while launching the 4th edition of the expanded National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic in Duse, Jigawa State. The expanded National MSME Clinics is one of the federal government's strategies for ease of doing business in Nigeria. The House of Representatives has called on all parties involved in the ongoing disputes in the petroleum sector to cease fire pending the outcome of its investigations. The Joint Committee on Petroleum, Midstream and Downstream made the call as it commences a forensic legislative investigation into allegations of substandard petroleum products, non-availability of crude oil to domestic refineries and other related matters. Michael Ediken has details.
The Joint Committee on Petroleum, Midstream and Downstream says the investigation will proceed in phases, starting with allegations against Dangote Refinery and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority regarding the quality of produced and imported products, as well as the complaints by the refining companies about the non-availability of crude oil supply to domestic refineries. Chairman, Petroleum Resources Downstream, Honorable Ikenga Ogechinere, and Chairman, Petroleum Resources Midstream, Honorable Odianisin Okeje, call on stakeholders to provide comprehensive support, including essential information and documentation that will help with the investigation. They urge refinery operators, importers, producers, and marketers of petroleum products to share their complaints, suggestions, and independent facts.
Our mandate, as set by the House on July 9th, encompasses a comprehensive forensic legislative investigation into the several critical areas, including but not restricted. 1. The importation and production of substandard petroleum products, the availability of good and quality crude oil supplied to domestic refineries. 3. The enforcement of regulatory standards by bodies such as the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the NMDPRA. 4. The support for local crude refiners and the issuance of import license. 5. Addressing the resurgence of fuel queues, high PMX costs, and other related matters. My dear colleague, Honorable Ikenga and I are fully committed to addressing these areas of concern. The task ahead of us is undoubtedly challenging, but we are confident in the abilities of men and women within our committees to help us to discharge these duties. Their experiences, passion, and drive will be instrumental in achieving our set objectives. To the Nigerian public, we are giving you the assurance of our commitment to thoroughly and fearlessly address all issues raised within and by us, and with a great sense of responsibility.
It must be reiterated.
Labor unions in the country say they will schedule meetings with state governments as part of efforts to ensure that they comply with the 2024 National Minimum Wage Amendment Act bill. The bill empowers Nigerian workers to earn at least 70,000 naira on a monthly basis. The Senate at plenary passed the 2024 National Minimum Wage Amendment Act bill after President Bola Tinubu had transmitted the new wage bill to both chambers of the National Assembly, seeking expeditious support for the lawmakers for its passage. The National Orientation Agency has urged residents in Jigawa State to be vigilant and heed safety measures to mitigate flooding. The NOA director in the state, Malam Ahmed Ibrahim, stated this in a statement by his spokesperson, Sarah Ogodo. He said the call was imperative sequel to the National Flood Early Warning Systems, which indicated that the state is likely to experience downpours in the coming weeks. In another development, the Jigawa State Council of Chiefs and the Christian Association of Nigeria has called on the Nigerian government to address the hardship in the country. The groups gave the advice at a town hall meeting in Duse, the state capital, attended by Governor Umar Namadi, student and trade union leaders. They asked residents of the state not to join the planned street protest, warning that it could trigger a breakdown of law and order. The CAN chairperson in Jigawa, Maurice Hassan, urged the government to set a market price stabilizing mechanism to check arbitrary hikes in food prices. The National Agricultural Development Fund says it is actively participating in various projects, programs, and initiatives that will help alleviate the issues of food insecurity and boost productivity. The Executive Secretary, NADF, Mohammed Ibrahim, disclosed this in an interactive session with the Joint National Assembly Committee on Agriculture in Abuja, chaired by Senator Saliu Mustafa. Kike Lomo Okere has details.
Despite the country's vast arable land and tech-inclined population, the agricultural sector has remained stunned due to lack of substantial financial support. The Executive Secretary, National Agricultural Development Fund, Mohammed Ibrahim, says the fund is investing the sum of 2.5 billion naira to partner with Niger State government, among other partnerships, for increased food production.
We're going into a partnership with Niger Foods to produce 10,000 hectares of mixed cropping. It's maize and soya this month, and then another 20,000 in the wet and dry season. And we're doing this, as I mentioned earlier, our overarching principle here is to optimize unutilized assets towards production. We're visiting the Nigerian Army farms tomorrow. We visited the one in Giri, and we are going to Ede in Osun State with them tomorrow. There we are looking at partnering with the Nigerian Army farms to do 4,000 hectares of cassava. We've been speaking with the Dawn Commission, the development agenda for Western Nigeria. We had a 2-day parley with the 6 commissioners of agriculture of the Southwest, and we're also about concluding a partnership, if not for other problems, to partner with the Dawn Commission in that.
In his remark, Honorable Yusuf Baraje, representing Bozo Paikoro Federal Constituency of Niger State, says there is need to partner with research institutes, which he noted would have alleviated the epidemic that affected the production of food, particularly ginger.
If you have been partnering with Ahmadu Bello University, maybe we will have remedied the epidemic that occurred in Kaduna State as it affects ginger production. Are you not thinking of how do we now revamp this research institute? How do we partner with them? Don't partner with people that already, this is somebody that is dying. He needs your intervention. If you go to Mokwa, for instance, you have a large sum of land there, procured and was being maintained. There are structures by the Ahmadu Bello University Research Institute. We just allow those things to die. With this kind of fund, why don't we intervene to make sure that our research institutes come back to life?
Agriculture is widely recognized as a key driver of economic growth in Nigeria, as it contributes significantly to the nation's GDP and provides livelihoods to millions. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
You're watching the Midday News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When Midday News returns, Taiwan shuts down as Typhoon Gemi approaches. We'll bring you this and other stories right after this break. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the midday news. In business, as part of efforts to address public concerns over soaring food prices, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCP, the Commission's legal mandate in Abuja. Global Television brings you details. Acting Executive Vice Chairman, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, Adamu Abdullahi, says with a concerted effort, the Commission conducted measures to prevent anti-competitive practices in mergers and acquisition. This, he added, will help to preserve consumer choices by preventing large companies from unnecessarily acquiring small competitors and restricting options.
And to address public concerns over soaring food prices, the FCCPC implemented measures to curb price gouging, promote fair competition, and protect consumers. We monitored markets, partnered with stakeholders, enforced pricing transparency, and sensitized consumers.
While speaking on the biggest challenges Nigerians are facing, the Executive Vice Chairman stated that electricity consumers have a lot of complaints on exploitative billing, unlawful disconnection, non-metering of consumers, amongst other complaints. He stated that FCCPC is working hard to tackle the prevalent issues and improve service delivery by implementing various programs and initiatives aimed at improving transparency and accountability in the sector.
The most common consumer complaints in the industry include exploitative billing, unlawful disconnection, non-metering of consumers, lack of transformers, and other salient issues. Given the relevance of electricity as a critical utility, the Commission prioritized intervention in the industry to tackle prevailing issues and improve service delivery by implementing various programs and initiatives aimed at promoting transparency and accountability in this sector.
He says the Commission is working tirelessly to promote competition and protect consumers to create a vibrant economy that benefits both business and Nigerians. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has raised the monetary policy rate by 50 basis points from 26.25% to 26.75%. Governor of the Central Bank, Olayabi Kadoso, said the continuous hike in rates was based on Nigeria's persistent hike in food and core inflation, calling on the fiscal authorities to immediately address inflationary pressures. The Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Joseph Osanikbe, has called for collaboration among key players in the automotive industry to enable the achievement of smooth manufacturing of Nigeria-made vehicles. The NADDC DG said the industry was capable of employing millions of Nigerian youths if properly explored, as the industry was viable as oil in the country. Osanikbe stated this during a recent working visit to vehicle assemblers plant in Lagos. The federal government says it expects the renewable energy sector to contribute about 9,000 megawatts of power supply to the country by year 2030 as part of the general vision to end energy poverty in Nigeria. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, who disclosed this in Abuja at the opening of a summit on accelerated scale-up of renewable and distributed energy resources in Nigeria, organized by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, said the government was determined to ensure the provision of affordable and reliable power supply to industries and other institutions. On the foreign scene, the United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer faces his first House of Commons grilling today after suspending 7 of his own Labour MPs for rebelling over a controversial welfare policy. Starmer suspended the Labour rebels after they backed a motion demanding the removal of the contentious two-child limit on benefits introduced by the previous Conservative government. The vote supporting ending the cap introduced in 2015 and which restricts payment to the first two children born to most families is an early test of Starmer's authority. Taiwan closed schools, suspended the stock market, and declared a typhoon holiday today as Gemi barreled towards the island, bringing torrential rains and whipping winds to its northeast. Typhoon Gemi, packing sustained wind speeds of 190 kilometers per hour, also affected Japan and the Philippines, which announced government offices would close for the day. It is expected to make landfall in northeast Taiwan by 10 p.m., and Presidential Lai Ching-te urged everyone to put safety first during the morning emergency briefing. In sports, Nigeria table tennis player Offiong Edem is psyching up her teammates representing the country in the event at the 2024 Olympic Games starting July 26th in Paris, France. Edem, Quadri Aruna, Olajide Omotayo and Fatima Bello will fly the country's flag in the event scheduled to run from 27 July to 10 August at the Paris Expo Porte de Versailles, with a total of 172 table tennis players participating. Edem, 37, the oldest member of the Nigerian team, in a statement on her Instagram page, urged the rest of her teammates success in Paris, urging them to deliver after putting in the work and making the sacrifices. The 2024 edition of the Value Jet Cup will kick off today with a clash between newly promoted Nigeria Premier Football League sides Beyond Limits and Ikorodu City at the Remo Stars Stadium, Ikede. The first pre-season tournament ahead of the 2024 and 2025 season will see 6 other teams jostle for the prize pool of 16 million naira in the one-week tournament, which will end on Wednesday, July 31st. They are defending champions S3SC, Sudanese champions Al Merrikh, Remo Stars, Rivers United, Kwara United, and Ijebu United. That's it on the Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.